Hey, what is up? I'm Zaf, and today we are asking the question, should you summon for MUSE? Do note that this is not a definite character review, and this is just me and my thoughts about the newest hero in the game. Also, if you're new here, I make multiple videos for Kingdom of Heroes every week, so if that's your thing, consider subscribing and hit that bell icon so you know what's poppin'. And now that we've got that out of the way, let's get to MUSE. MUSE is a fighter that's honestly kinda confused on what role she wants to play. She has some new mechanics that has to do with resistance, but also has a very conflicting overall kit. Her skill 1 is a single target attack that extends one more tile with skill ups. This attack has a 20% crit rate at max and slows the enemy at 45% chance for 2 turns. I honestly find this skill kinda bad because first, the slow is very unreliable, and second, she is still going to be needing crit stats if you want to make her crit with a skill. And this is where she becomes a confused hero. Her skill 2 is an area of effect around her that pushes enemies away along with a 65% chance to stun at max. Now this skill is a guaranteed crit under the condition that she has more resistance than the enemy. This isn't going to be very hard for her to achieve because she does get a total of 53% from her passive and her leader skill combined, plus an extra 10 or 15% on her base resist. This means that she will most likely be guaranteed to crit on this skill, which would make crit stats lose a lot of value. But then again, she still does need crit on her skill 1. Think of it like Morgan. You don't build Morgan with crit because she is guaranteed to crit on her skill 2 and skill 3. The problem with MUSE is that unlike Morgan, she only has one skill with a guaranteed crit, and it also has a 2-turn cooldown at max. What that means is that if you don't build her with crit, then you are going to be gambling 2 attacks on skill 1 and potentially lose a good amount of damage. As of now, I don't know how this truly weighs for her, but she could probably be built with full damage and no crit and still do well. But for me, personally, I do not like that her active skills do not synergize with each other. Now we go to her passive that gives her a 10% resistance and immunity to skill cooldown debuff. This is a very niche immunity because as far as I know, there's only 3 heroes that can increase skill cooldown, and those are Hildegarde, Morgan, and Uriel. Just those 3. It only protects her against 3 heroes. I really have no idea why they chose to give her this immunity, taking in the fact that she only has 1 active skill. In addition to that though, she does get an attack buff at the start of the turn, which is very good, but the bad thing is that it's only for 1 turn, and it has a 2-turn cooldown. The reason why this is bad is because if you're going to be using her for arena, the odds are you will not be able to reach the enemy on the first turn, which means you don't get to take advantage of the buff at all. This could have been really good if it was 2 turns, especially because it's before her attack, but it's only for 1 turn, and that's I don't know what to think about that. It is still possible to make her attack on the first turn, but it has to go through conditions. 1, the enemy needs to move forward first with a mobility buff, and 2, she needs to go after them and move forward with her own mobility buff. That is the only way she's going to take advantage of that 1-turn attack buff at the start of the match. So yeah, it's very situational and it makes her even more unreliable. Oh, and did I forget, she is a fighter. She's not a tank. She has no way to protect or sustain herself, so she needs to be able to do her damage as fast as possible or else she's gonna get wiped. So as we can see, she has a very confused kit, and the only probable reason I would find a use for her is for Agellius 11, because of the elemental advantage plus the resistance to Death Break. But outside of that, I just don't see her excelling in anything. To be very honest, if she was a tank and had some sort of tankiness in her, she would have been good, but as far as what I'm seeing in her kit right now, I just do not see her changing anything in the meta. So, is she worth pulling? I would say no, because there are just so much better choices in the water 5 stars right now, and MUSE isn't really beating any one of them. Her debuffs are unreliable, and it really doesn't help that her crit mechanic is kinda confused. She does have a resistance leader skill in case you wanted to build her together with a tanky team, but outside of that, I would say she's very mediocre and very niche, and I do not see her as a threat in PvP. Also, I would like to add that the stuns from Earthquake runes are not affected by resistance or accuracy, so if you were thinking of using her leader skill to avoid those stuns, it's not happening. Anyway, that is all I have for now. I do hope you found this informative, and if it did, let me know by liking this video. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. There's the prey with, oh, that was, there's a silence. I'm gonna try to attempt for a sleep. That was, was not expecting that.